So we got a really cool one here, my friends. I know it's like negative 15 degrees outside, at least it is in Ohio. It is freaking cold. I got a fireplace, and I got a meat smoker that I still use out in the backyard, but when I want to split logs, I am splitting them with an axe, which I don't necessarily like to do. Now, I didn't want a giant log splitter. There was no need for it. I wanted something smaller, so I was going to go out and get this manual thing. My brother actually suggested this. It is a corded log splitter. Yes, corded log splitter. So I said to myself, what can a corded log splitter do? I mean, really, seriously, if you think about it, it's freaking corded. But I went on the Home Depot site and I started looking at some of the reviews. It was $288 for the log splitter, but I really wanted to know what other people were saying. There was 156 reviews and almost all of them were 5-star. So then I said, let me see if there's any pictures of people splitting wood, and holy, that's a lot of wood. So I was pretty curious, I was pretty excited. It was smaller and I wanted to bring one here to the channel. So I brought one here to the channel. We're going to slice and we're going to dice some different types of wood. We're going to go pine, we're going to go cherry, even maple, and I'm going to put it to the test. I'm going to see if it will actually split the logs like they are doing in these pictures right here. And then I will give you a full overview with my final thoughts. Let's get it going. Now, my first reaction when I took this thing out of the box was, wow, this thing is really some heavy metal.
Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe.
And even though that was an awesome song, that's not the heavy metal I'm talking about. I mean, there's a lot of welds, a lot of thick metal, heavy bolts made out of some really good materials. Now, the only assembly that you're going to have to do on this splitter is put the wheels on. It literally takes 5 minutes. It actually took me longer to figure out how to rotate this picture for the video than it did to assemble this thing out of the box. You also get the 1.75 horsepower and you get the 15 amp motor on this. Now, it is a 6-ton electric log splitter up to 20.5 inches. Now, in case I forget, you can put logs up to, I would say, no more than maybe 12 inches around. There are some feet right down here on the bottom. If I wanted to, again, I could lay this down on its back. I can use it vertically. I can use it whatever way I wanted to. There's handles so you can pull, push. The wheels are a little bit smaller, so if you're going over the heavy terrain, you are going to have some issues. So we're going to start slicing and the dicing. Now let me show you this real quick. That's where your logs are going to go, and it's cradled in there, right? You have your ram right there that's going to push the log into that blade. And when I say blade, I mean wedge. That wedge is 5 inches. It is beastly. Now we're going to start out with a pine log first. I want to see how this works out. The way you use this, you got to push down that green button right there. And then on the back side, there is a handle that you push down. Don't worry, I'll show you. But you can see it sits right up on top. Don't have to worry about this thing rolling over. Just going to push that green button. And then there you go. And here's the thing, it is not that much slower than a gas-powered model. You can see that ram going up towards the wedge. It will stop probably within about 5 inches, and then once you let go of that handle, it'll automatically retract by itself. That's the only downside, I think, to this is that you have to use 2 hands to use the log splitter, but it is for safety. Now, another cool thing about this is if I wanted to split a bunch of logs that are the same length, well, I can put my stop right here, just tighten that down, and I do not have to worry about it going any further than that stop. So say I'm cutting logs that are about 15 inches and you don't want this thing to run all the way in. Again, check that out. You just tighten that down where you want it and it'll stop by itself. And that's real nice like. But you want to see us split some wood. Here's the cherry right here. All right, let's do this cut right now. So we got some cherry on here that we're going to throw just like so, and boom. So no issue going down through the cherry, and you can see it splits pretty good. We are going to go with a different type here now, and that, my friends, is a 5-inch round maple log. Now, if you wanted to make the cuts even smaller, well, you could do that. And again, real nice like. Now we're going to do a bunch of other cuts here. We're going to start stacking things up on top of each other. Just to let you know though, if you got a barbecue smoker or if you want that smaller cut for your furnace, you know, this will do a very nice job. And yeah, this is about 5-inch. I believe this one is pine right here. Let's do it. Now that's really cool, and the reason why I like this is because you can literally throw this thing in the back of your trunk. Now if you are planning to do that, this is around 103 pounds, so you're definitely going to need some help. But if you got a smaller area, you don't have a lot of room for storage, I mean this thing is really freaking cool. Maybe you got a camp, you know, you want to do a bonfire, check this out. I ran one log after another log after another log and did not have any issue with power. Now, again, a lot smaller. It's almost like a mini log splitter, but you're not dragging this thing behind on a truck. And if you don't want that heavy industrial type of log splitter, you know, that's running off of gas, it's pretty loud. I like the safety function, even though a lot of people might find that a little bit annoying. You know, you got to push the button, then the handle. You know, if you never use a log splitter, you just need something like this. It's a good thing to have that. Now you can see we just put one that was cut on top of another one and you end up with 4 pieces. So a lot of people will do that. That's how you do it, you know, if you want to go a little bit quicker. I mean, check it out. This thing works great. So let's do a couple more cuts here and then I'm going to give you my final impressions on this piece of equipment. This is another piece of cherry wood here. Well, it's a good thing I wore my steel toes, brother. Another smaller cut. And one more cherry for your viewing pleasure. Aiming for the foot again, brother. Starting to think that was on purpose. So let's talk about build quality. Man, I'll tell you, this thing is really, look how thick that steel is. It is no joke, and it's all welded. You know, this stuff here, it will last you. I was really impressed with the build quality of this machine, and I really was not expecting that, to be honest with you. And as for the power, not that much slower than a gas powered, and you don't have to drag this thing behind a truck. If you were looking for something, you know, for your campsite, for your house, you don't have a lot of storage, you can set this up on its legs and you don't have to worry about it. The power of it, I was really impressed with how easily it was able to go through any log that we put on there. And it truly does not matter if your logs are dried out already or if they're
moist,
because this will cut through them, no issue. Now, this does take hydraulic fluid. Mine came with hydraulic fluid already in it, but you might want to pick some up just in case. One of my biggest likes about this, it is definitely compact. I already mentioned that, but you can take this thing anywhere, throw it in the back of your truck, but you definitely want to make sure that you have help because it is about 103 pounds. So even though it's smaller, it's not that light. The wheels, you're looking at about 7 inches. They're not the best on some rugged terrain, so you're probably going to have somebody help carry that. But with that said, it is a powerful little machine and I definitely recommend it. I'll put a link in the description for you to check it out. You know, if you do have a campsite or you have a fireplace and you just don't need something so industrial or you don't want to run gasoline, you just plug this thing in and it's ready to go. I did not expect it to do as good as it did being a corded model. So let me know what you think in the comment section below. Can you use something like this? Have you used something like this? Could, please don't forget to smash that like button. It really helps out the video. Get subscribed and hit that bell notification so you don't miss out on any other tool reviews. I appreciate you stopping by. Stop over and say hi to us on the Instagram page. Love to see you over there. We'll be back with more videos soon.